insurance ne best pension one more any enyumeku o mafe asene amaye de enyumre kasebo yi ebra mo ye hwe de edi mu akotini ebie
Ghana mampanyin na nado danko Akufuado e de ato edwa se ye kase ye de court wadan ene agagefo abonwuro makomako ediokono enwotwe na wonum esie se de be ya ye ho be ha yen yatemu adwuma eyim
mampanyin dada mahama so e kire se Ghana sikasam economy no eyeyi a etese obia timi nya ne so ne de eni kwan se ekofa
so no wabo amane sesa uko oti region so a NPP amanyokuo no omanfo a wo ho age wonum atum afa so wonum esiesi akwan a ewo oti region
enkraman ma say insurance company bi wo mo nya papa ame adom aposifo aso mu se ekwa
yedi ani kire amahodo so ensemu aba beto ejase ye kasa de yeyi opanyin ba ko ese wonkwohwe na Libya pinche ama ne homene so no wonko enkoso ano
ewiase kubatan so abo Venezuela so bo se efa pata so mbe yehwehwemu esan se wo mu etieti akofo fa ahudie so a wo mu mankofo enya wo mu fa ahudie wo bia so
ensema foforo bi ka wenum ho na anadwe ne anu mienu yaje agya ye de esomo ama Sarpong Kumankuma jesi mene
Akosua Sarpong
afe yenhwe ensem no Omampanyin na nado danko Akufuado e de ato edwase wa hwede nani atofom ehunu se agagefo wonum bonwuro ho nsem ya na ekana ne senti wonum efiti biase a wosie no da nchen a wahunu se toda omanfo nya asem a obi betwa kwansini dodo ansa na wakonya kotompo e de nasem akọ we nyina ya de eda na koma so a wa fiti ase esi bie se de be ya ye ho ebe ha ye
You in the name of your almighty God swear. You in the name of your almighty God swear.
Ate mofo dunsia 16 na Ghana mampanyin amomo aso afremu hya omoko high court akwakoye adwuma omampanyin say mantam dunsia o Ghana ase no yebesi court dan ene bungalows de ama adwumaifo awodo no say ene ochechiri mu waso ba enkramantam masia yebesi court dan wotwe bungalows ngotwe okofra mantam a court dan wotwe bungalows ngotwe woti mantam court dan 9 bungalows 9 wato aso de besi se asante mantam ombesi court dan no aduonu ene bungalows edu 9 wodi afutuo ema atemwafo dunsia ne sebrem kwa yedwumei ommabuo ni die emerem.
A superior court of record. It is the focal point for justice delivery in our judicial structure, as much of judicial work begins and ends there. It is therefore critical for the growth of our nation that the High Court commands the respect of the people by the quality of its justice, as well as by the comportment of its judges. So to you, the newly sworn in justices, I say that it is essential that you demonstrate that you are honest, possess integrity, and a sound knowledge of the law. Government has also taken note of the inadequate number of courts in various parts of the country, resulting in citizens traversing long distances in order to gain access to our courts. For example, there's no court between Ajabing and Amasamai in the Greater Accra region. Neither is the court between Adumin, Kumasi, and Asante Bekwai or Boase in the Ashanti region. That is why government, through the administrator of the District Assembly Common Fund, is constructing 98 courts and bungalows for judges in all 16 regions of the country. There would be 8 courts and 8 bungalows in Greater Accra, 8 courts and 8 bungalows in Volta, 4 courts and 8 bungalows in Oti, 12 courts and 10 bungalows in Eastern, 7 courts and 8 bungalows in Western, 4 courts and 4 bungalows in Western North, 4 courts and 4 bungalows in Central, 5 courts and 5 bungalows in Northeast, 20 courts and 14 bungalows in Ashanti, 8 courts and 8 bungalows in Ahafo, 4 courts and 6 bungalows in Brno, 5 courts and 5 bungalows in Brno East, 3 courts and 3 bungalows in Northern, 3 courts and 3 bungalows in Savannah, 2 courts and 2 bungalows in Upper West, and 3 courts and 3 bungalows in Upper East. Newly appointed justices of the High Court, I wish you well and Godspeed in the discharge of your high functions. May God bless the new High Court judges and us all, and may God bless our homeland Ghana and make her great.
And rana September da etosu edunum sede NDC amanyokuo no eka ye de to ho se wono ebekọ Asantemantem na wakọ akwakoye town hall meeting wone Asantemantem ebetena se no madi nkomo na afi wo mu manifesto hyehyeye a wo mu wo ede magana bra ebeto abayi wo mu beti ase na omato aba no ama wo mu abra wokoko hia ye no na mpanifo ahodo bebre na wodwumadie no ase akyerkyerefo na ebi wo ho spare parts dealers na omo wo ho contractor for e wo ho a doctor for wo ho nananom atena nkonwa wo mo so na ebi e wo ho afi okada riders na omo so wo ho mo twi tricycle no so na ebi e wo ho e na party echitafo eni ntini ne akuku da mo ko piase e wo town hall meeting no ebi e ye national chairman Ora Samuel Ofosu Ampofo general secretary Yera Johnson esi edunketia emrahye bedwane owo Asutifi South wonmonyamfo Eriko Poku enkane Asantemantem so afo e na afi so mrahye bedwane owo Asanwase Alhaji Muntaka Mohammed omu nyina ejina simpie so kasaye na onmonyamfo Eriko Poku kasaye ema na omanfo ani ajegiye papa isanse ne nsem a wode etu dwa no na eno no omanfo e kire se okeka nsem ni yie pa eno achi e na enkane mampanyi John Dramani Mahama ono so eba simpie so e de ne nsem betu edwa na ne nsem ni bia wode etu edwa no ena o che se wo hwe ene Ghana ye sikasam no e kamia ye se ekwa afa efa nko a ena wo mu enya na nyame ya do na se ka Ghana fo ma ne sa akwanya no a se de no wo so no ye ne nneoma yie na economy no anase ye sikasam no eso obi aso no anko be ye ne sa pepepe wo kire se ene se wo hwe ye business adwade a ye die no ne nyina akwa akodi amononefo afa wo mu na ase wo mu ekura oman no sikasam na wo hwe ye economy se de esiti a exese obi enya ne so ne de ewo mani kwanse kwa afa enu nti sede MPP aban aye nneoma ama enei Ghana enwuma bi ewo ho akwakodi amanonefo nstem no nyame adom na so oba anya de a obeye ne saada obehwe se Ghana fo ebenya mfaso ede afri so na ne nyina no wo mo nhyehyɛ papa ede ma ye Ghana de hye nyina e na bohye bia so wa hye bia no obehwe se Ghana fo ebenya eso ene ne de obi abenya ne so ne de a wonhwe ema no enkonko di afa bia na enkoba se obi enya bie enu nti Ghana fo wo mo nhwe na wo mo nsan to abanti nura town hall meeting nsem ni bi a epie mu eno no
Yetwa ensam no so a Ghana ba panyini ebo entoa wo Greater Accra mantam ha na wodi nani akopie mu ewo ayawaso West Wogon na ho ene wodi ato manfo anim se panyini se amfo ene kye ne ntoa so ne senti wonhwe de ani kunu ne dofo na dankwa kufu ado aye ho na wo mu entoa no so
NVTI for Training Center wo East Legon e mo na Migration and Empowerment Promotion Project no omodi nipa be 400 afantiti mo wi a omoje omokwan woto aso Eco Legon Hospital ekoye adoye edema wo mo okowi aprobo ni nyina e wo baole hihini ahimfie wo kire mu ese Ghana mampanyi na adran kofado abo adwuma eno enti Ghana fo nsanto ababiem emfama no December da etoso ensom
makanyake Afine December 7 mo femo kote oya for shike oha MPP ne for shike ne ha Lydia ne MP nuchumo ni MPP ba nearly 4 years ne nuchumo na ba chueje sane bibio ne fe nyele na kai je na kai lo no placards na yenefe chonye ni bi na abachu aba revive Akosua textiles free SHS weba nursing training allowance eba one constituency one ambulance weba 6 new regions weba can it be babao nibi ni wana kweko dan fe bagmene mini hewon yesani MPP achano ni ekanibi mo aba Nana Ghana Kechui no Wadienche Nele Akashi Ebanye ni Echake Ghana ni Ghana Abatotoma Brochi December 7th no Misramu Obia Kotuaba Muntu no more Krama Lydia na Mwatu no more Suama President Anado Danko Akosua
Ayawaso West Wugon Rashidwani onumunyafo Lydia Sayira Malasan na owodwumedie no ase ono so ekasa de tudwa kire mu se opempuntu de ama adehia ewo Ayawaso West Wugon resanse oba ye nche ne so waye bebrintu asero mu se omunsanto ababiem emfama no.
I said some key target developments. These include enhancements of security to combat crime in the constituency, provision of scholarship to brilliant by needy tertiary students, improvement of sanitation conditions in the constituency, women empowerment programs through provision of financial support to small enterprises and petty traders, and creation of employment opportunity for the youth. I am proud to report to you that a lot has been achieved along these targets. My constituents have not forgotten the unbearable economic hardship that characterized the years under the NDC administration. They also appreciate the quality and superiority of the NPP in the management of the economy and experience in the last 3.5 years. For this reason, they are poised to vote massively for me and the President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, on December 7th.
Chiba Bejaku anase National Insurance Commission for womani aposi for aka abom na womano ano na womakwakoche insurance brokers bi a efre womo Family Fountain Insurance Brokers womo ewo nkramantem se womo any license papa chese adwuma na womo ye ni nyina na ye fake nti se obi akwakoye insurance wo ho ana wo ne womakwako dinkita ho a na chese nipa kro no ye de wasim nti aposi for aso wonom epanchi.
Deputy Commissioner Dema National Insurance Commission Owura Michael Kofi Ando and UTV din komo no se eruan mu mienu asese posifo nsa so mo pachi no amoyo modwuma ewo Ayalolo Transport Terminal na no enkran no amudi insurance ayensi achiba ma enkrofo bi omudi tumi krata so be ye ne sade no sesi posifo nsa so mo pachi omoboa amanhwemu akoso wade afutuo magana fo nyada se anya hwe papa esanse akrabrifo bi ayomuti omubumra so ewo insurance hye ahodo na enye
Nokre enra edwumekuo bi omofre ho Family Insurance Brokers ton insurance ama enkrofo a omuni krata abanmra ahyehye se obia opese woye insurance edwuma no wo meji tumi krata Free National Insurance Commission ansana wetimi aye ewo senti kura kodro wo a aban eye ne sa enti ehuhia ye pa enti se obia sorry na se oni sa tumi krata no a ebi wo ho a na sa nipai woni nimde ani hunu a wode baye sa adwumaye sanse insurance wo hoi enonko insurance brofo nko insurance nkyerɛkyerɛ mu nko enti ɛwɔ sɛ yɛma omo a ɛto insurance no ɛyɛ nkrofo a enim de sɛ ba insurance mu a omo te insurance na se ometumi akyerɛkyerɛ mu omo ankasa esua insurance ho ade a ometumi akyerɛkyerɛ ho a ɛto insurance na se sɛne ɛbɛyɛ a ho ato insurance no so betumi ato insurance a ehuhia na ho bɛba wɔ mfasoɔ na sɛ ɛba sɛ omo konya akwanhyia na sɛ asɛm bi sign ho a watumi agene obroni friend say claim e dey free insurance company ho it is a person crofo bi sori na ye ni tumi ye ni aban tumi bi ni ya tumi sori na ye fi ase say ye ton insurance na e ha dwen pa se odi insurance ni bia ba ye adwuma so ye insurance company so ye broker so ye hwan ubetumi akọ National Insurance Commission website our internet no so address ni ye www.nicgh na bom nicgh.org.org wonya akọ ho a ni broni friend say your website na we hunu say enkofo a eye insurance ya mo mutumi krata so mo fanto insurance no yewo nyina din wo ho ti hu ukosa na se wo hwe na se ni din ni ho a na obetumi aboya mane na obetumi abo obi amane oni mo bi o ye insurance ejuma na ye nice ejuma obetumi abo na mane na yetumi etu ho na mo
Yanko ensemfu from na yahoɔden ni a yɛdidi dwuma ɛyɛ nkania yɛ gyina so ma yɛtumi yɛho ha yɛn yade yɛ nyina mu no beto dwa ɛsɛ PDS ekodi wɔnom nsɛm ɛna no ho nkyenwahyewa ɛna sa bedi ECG nsɛm na no na ɛdɔm kuma ɛwɔ mrahye bedwam de ato edwa sɛ aban yɛ dada akra ɛna nne no ama yɛwura kwadwo oponkrom ababonte no abɛka PDS kra de aban kokoto a anhwɛ obɛme wo man na tua judgment that wo mu kyerɛ sɛ ɛnokra bi a ɛni saa ensɛm ne mu na mpanyin sika kum yɛgye ne kokuo num yɛkɔ ahoma ne so na yɛne onimonyamfo George Mrekuduka akɔtwetwe enkomo yɛkɔ mrahye bedwamu a wɔyɛ vice chairperson yɛ bedwako a yɛpa wɔnom sɛ wɔnhwɛ yahoɔden ne ɛna afei yɛfom agudie ɛho nsɛm so na yɛne no adi enkomo ɛwɔ asɛmi ho mira memo adwomo akɔ ababa UTV kaseɛ so
mejo domini apisia
me pa cho na apom te sɛ yo
nyakopɔ ne hu yɛ mbɔ waso apom
Erade adama mesume ho ye pa. No kwese aban pese osanji ya ho oden ne free ECG nsem san de kokoma PDS.
Munya bitema minchi a wakefo. Na NDC aban na iku no. Sabe what were your alternative government? The work asama or the work asama evidence edabo. Into a member wild allegations. Going to a very incongruous. There are some onyinan na ebi ehwea onyi. ECG ebekaya abra wanye PDS ekwa apama da obe yituma abom no. Aban yara NPP aban na oba aboa go bekade. Oye PDS one nhyehyɛ bi a wɔyɛ wanye akut wɔyɛ no nkatasɛm no signatories no wankoye nti abania no bekede intum na onye PDS ni adwuma kusande won katasam wankoye obane den na abania twa no oba biu bekede sabia osanso wada na akoma PDS biu onye no kwakra America say PDS is abana court onye ECG wo court ECG is defend abani na we tuma the sense nti eji contract ni fee or the PDS function nti minyanum NDC fo so pede Ghana fo to aba mo na onya kohisam na Obama Ghana fo to aba mo kanokwa na dinokwa che Ghana fo na dem akohisam ni so ono so niti na nenan way when you fika and they just want to get attention from the people of Ghana and I don't think it's necessary at this time.
Let us say the wo kind there sakoba ni say PDS mansun yo ana say court nsaman ya won mututu ho anamon koba ni say kura enkoba se ye bedane ye nyina mo ahoden na san akɔhye PDS nsa aban nye na dwen so obedane bibia kura de ama no
minya besi aban nye adwen kura ne discussing obi bia na minya na okada no oyembrahye bogobi onyim de anything biara offer the Ghana no obambrahye bogom na brahye bogom fo ya jatu or about committee level ya discuss and nothing of that sort has gone on. See why they also offer abua no that can nsema onfata oya nonsense. I mean he just want an attention. Now I don't think he needs this attention at all.
Joe Opani yebeda ase papa e won semi ho abusiafo ya ni onimonyamfo George Mrekuduka na twetwe enkomo wo kire se aban nanso da ye se ye se be peja ye nyina mo ahoden no e de akwa akɔhye PDS nsa so omo de ye court so omo judgment debt di omo be ye bia ye nane ma wonom da e wo ECG nsam enti se obi ada ona aban so da ye mpo no abopichi se sa adwen no eba abeba ne tim
Nansen omanfo a wonom ewo tema ene enkraman tema se ya na omo bre pa ansa na omo nyansu a wonom ebenom na eno enam so ema Ghana Water Company Limited womo etutu anamode nsentwerefo ekọ de enti a ama saa we mu nyina aba wo kire se na womo edroba akese na nsuo no enamu no ebu ho a omunya nsuo a eho tie omafo ebo ho sobo afesu so ohwe droba na emu asisisi enti na wo se esiesie ekoso ne no na Ghana Water Company say befa enafu amakomako enan 4 days ansana wo matimi aye sansiesie nyina awie eno nti enam so ema Yera Stanley Mate wono ene ni amansan di nkita ho ema Ghana Water Company Limited wono achi ene engineer Charles Brobe omu nyina kyerɛkyerɛ de enti a ama wenum nyina aba ye nhwɛ sɛ de nsɛm ne sitie
about 53-55 kilometers. The entire stretch of your transmission is about 80 kilometers. So I say, but from the booster station, we aircraft born about 55 kilometers. The case is sending it will cost us well over $300 million. Ghana Water in this ice cream. So I say, take it best 3 to 4 years. Until a bed in Kaka. Say along the line, you will be a post chlorination. A treating zone work on a better driven by a booster station. If booster station, why a post chlorination, even within your communities, no, so your sections will hold more every day. Your quality assurance department or book around or introduce more chemicals. If I know post chlorination, now say BB alpha, BB external material be agakopio BB now sir. A post chlorination not take care of it is so a baby fear a coaching or how be anyway.
Unfortunately, no na a dose to the stand say you can say no back no ye de ahotre beba your consumers so until you say you be pack that your father go back some ne say 3 days 4 days here you with the enemy na ye pipe na wo no na ye fro abetu until ma hwa pipe na ye de go to mu no mo say ya ye inside no adwuma se be ya corrosion no embakese outside no so ya ye ho adwuma se be ya corrosion no embakese in a fide ya sa rapo pipe no ho se be ya e betu withstand corrosion no nti eno ne ye na sa adwuma we say no ye no sa pipeline we ene ye pipeline e super wa Ghana ha nyinara a transmission lines no man the diameter no e 42 inches at times I it will form a super no ho adwuma ne ye nti ama adwuma no aye kese kakra na yakase ye de 4 days the years adwuma no enra you start here and so high na so you dream who say ya anajuno ya adwuma bi a se be ya ye betumi amiti sa 4 days no na mo hwe so mo say you were a lot of equipment wa ha bo ho tipper trucks be brave bo ho crane trucks no be brave bo ho excavators no nyina eye adwuma na the way economy say dey feel say program no you were reshemu say young come entra 4 days no.
Ghana mampanyi abedi eche Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia dia tu ejase NDC nsemu a wonum na ma womo eka se womo ba eni okadafo ye be mamo kwan na mu twi moto yi mo de fa niema mo de fa nipa eni ho nkro ne ba na wo se wonom mu wo hye papa san se VW adwumakuo ne cars adwumakuo ahodo a ebebo o mamu no eba be maka abo ayefo enti wo atwi moto no afi beje car na etuetua na kakrakra enti mo munya okada sem na wo mkeka no mo hye pa ebebo o manfo ne sene okada.
Our trotros, our buses, our taxis tend to be quite old. And why are they old? The drivers tend to have very little capital to buy the new vehicles. And so they are kept out of that market. In the transport sector recapitalization project, what we are proposing is for government to come in the middle to provide support for our drivers, for the taxis, trotters, and buses, to be able to essentially lease these new vehicles that are being made in Ghana. We have buses that are going to be made from the Evans, the trotter type buses, the mini buses, the cars, they're all going to be made here. We are spending $230 million a year treating people who have had road accidents. In the context of what we are doing, we would rather encourage the Okada riders to come in and try to buy and lease these vehicles so that they can run businesses. They need to graduate from this risky and less safe Okada riding to a safer means of transportation. Their problem will be a lack of capital. But if you bring in new leasing policies and we have our national ID cards with our digital addresses and so on, we can have a credit system working and give you an option other than this risky, you don't want to finish graduate school and then make a life in Okada riding. You can have a better option, and we will give you a better option. So yes, we will not legalize Okada business in Ghana. It is in the interest of Ghanaians. We have had discussions, but we will stick to our decision to provide a better alternative for the Okada riders.
Also for our no and share amanone and some so ayon munyam for Shelly Ayoko Buchi. Now one central for a face so diplomatic core and development partners are Womuna air share asumbi betimi aba mali minim abra a penny for Akudo Ecowas and penny for Beshiemu a war pediase Ghana memu has say or motanasi drink a quine on beverso or amasum PM or mali inti or church and simo.
Following extensive deliberations on the architecture and roadmap for the transition presented by the delegation of the CNSP, led by Colonel Assimi Goita, the heads of state made the following decisions. The President and Prime Minister of the transitional government must be civilians. The nomination of these two key personalities must be done immediately. The transition vice president, provided for in the transition charter, shall not under any circumstances assume the role of the transition president. The CNSP will be dissolved immediately the civilian transitional government is in place. The transition period will be 18 months maximum, with effects from 15 September 2020. Once a civilian-led transition government has assumed office, ECOWAS, within the context of its protocols, will fully assist Mali to return to constitutional rule. Sanctions will be lifted immediately the transition president and prime minister are appointed. The ECOWAS mediator, His Excellency Goodluck Jonathan, is to undertake a mission to Mali within a week to assess the status of implementation of the decisions of the authority. Excellencies and distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is hoped that all the political actors in Mali will support the outcome of the consultative meeting in order to ensure that normalcy returns to our sister country as soon as practicable. It is the commitment of the chair of the authority to continue with the political engagement and provide the leadership required at this critical moment.
And your roadmap, no, near AC until finally elections. The two presidents name. Also come I can't near fine tuning. Until Muko fine tuning, now Muji to Mopa, na Edwano, no, na transition. No, near here say, Yempese Yabehu. Military force, because military force are not supposed to be in governance. Omo boy who buy 18 months. Anka presidents see 12 months, but omo buy no so omo here 18 months. Now omo dia tutu ni ameye. Inti negotiation there wherever can say at the end you have to give and take. Inti presidents no insist say it must be a civilian, but Yama 18 months na omo fanye near omo ye na constitutional rule, which is democracy, and there the war.
So our aspiration is to have this roadmap implemented, and it's a must for us because we're part of ECOWAS. We are funding member of ECOWAS, so and we know that the sanctions are very bad for our country. So we'll be abiding by the instructions given by ECOWAS.
And penny for Madame, my home so tiawa, your baba says.